And the deputy once, he's been there 2 months, and Brian was the one that hired him, so you think he'd know Konecki. And he's called us, heard it.
Okay.
He was looking at the schedule one day, and he's.
Okay, it's 1 o'clock. I'm going to call the December 17th Board of Commissioner meeting to order. Today, we're going to start out with the prayer by Commissioner Sarkella, followed by the pledge by Commissioner Heberlein.
Dear Lord, we thank you once again for allowing us to gather in a free country. We ask that you would be with us today, allowing us to make wise decisions on behalf of our friends and neighbors. We're especially grateful, Lord, for this time of year when we celebrate the birth of your son. And allow us always to remember that he is the reason for the season. In his most precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Welcome to all our guests here today. It's good to see so many faces in our boardroom. Leslie, roll call, please.
District 1 Chairman John Block.
Present.
District 2 Commissioner Roger Ballard.
Present.
District 3 Commissioner Gary Heberlein.
Here.
District 4 Commissioner Bill Sarkella.
Here.
District 5 Commissioner Christine Lee. Present. District 6 Commissioner Evans Ehart.
Here.
District 7 Commissioner John Moody.
Here.
Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
Today, we have 2 additions to our BOC agenda, one of those being a resolution honoring John Kinnear for years of service, and the next, an NFA 022-24 appointment of Emergency Management Director. I would like to put the resolution honoring John Kinnear right below the one on our agenda for Todd Hillman, and then the NFA 022-24 will be added right below FA 208-2. With those 2 additions in mind, I'll entertain a motion to adopt our agenda as amended.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Ballard, support from Commissioner Heberlein to adopt the agenda as amended. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. We will now move on to the approval of our meeting minutes from our December 3rd meeting. If there are no corrections or deletions, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
My motion.
I support it.
I have a motion from Commissioner Ehart and support from Commissioner Lee to adopt our meeting minutes from December 3rd. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. You received your correspondence from Jody through email the other day. We're going to move into commissioner reports, and we're going to start with Commissioner Ballard.
Okay, last night I was in Lamont Township. They did some budget amendments, some discussion on using their remaining ARPA funds. And they did approve at a special meeting on the 12th, a remodel to their bathrooms and new HVAC in their township hall, which is also using ARPA funds. Last Tuesday, I was at Marlette Township. They had their attorney present. There was a long discussion, mainly the whole night was involved with energy ordinance options. There was no decision made at that time. And there were public comments on their township board makeup. Argyle, I was there last Thursday. They discussed their streetlight replacement, snow removal, did some budget adjustments. And they had a long discussion on energy ordinances. We're sending suggested changes back to their planning commission. And that's all I have.
Good. Thank you, Roger. Gary?
I attended the Watertown Township meeting and got to sit under the new chairman, Scott Kenny, in the last meeting and gave my monthly report. And there was some other things that really don't need to be brought to our meeting. But the reason I don't get to go to all the whole meeting is because we also have a Parks and Recreation meeting almost simultaneous. So I drive the speed limit, 55 Baptist Industrial. And then also Moortown Township went to their meeting. They're completing their ARPA funding and my report.
Thank you, Gary. Bill?
Port Sanilac is working on their nuisance blight ordinance. Their water project's moving forward with the township, and CFA also is moving forward. Washington Township has a new supervisor, a new clerk, and they're finalizing their ARPA spending. And they also have a new planning commission meeting member. And then there was discussion about the M46 bridge project that's going to be going on next spring. And Bridgehampton has a new treasurer, new clerk, purchasing some laptop equipment and also a backup generator with ARPA funds, and entered into their equalization agreement. And Sand Lake Township, their water project with Port Sand Lake's moving forward as well. They appointed a CFA board member and a resolution in regards to their former supervisor, trustee, Bill Nelke, served 38 years there. That's all I have for you.
Good. Thank you, Bill. Christine?
I went to the city of Brown City. They did a resolution to keep the insurance the way it has been. They talked about the water tower, repainting it and having a contest and maybe putting a new logo on it. They've been having trouble with the Windsor drain, and I think right now it's kind of where it is, where it's at. They approve a contract for lawn mowing service. They're gonna, next meeting, they're gonna appoint the committees for the council. And that's it for Brown City. Then I went to Maple Valley, and they're had a 70% turnout for election. They talked about the corner of Shepherd Road and Burnslide and 90, that there's been a lot of accidents there. They were wondering if they can get the stop signs that flashes or whatever. So they're looking into that. And they had some ARPA funds. They were trying to decide what they're going to finish spending their ARPA funds on. And Flint Township, they talked about the Nature Center open house. The person that usually runs it is going to be having a baby, so she can't do it. So that was their main topic. And the cemetery, they put a new sign out there. I also went to the MDOT came to Brown City, and they talked about road diet, and they were talking about the 4 lanes that are in the business district of Brown City, maybe going down to 3 lanes, with the center lane being a turn lane, and putting in bike lanes. So there was a lot of people there that they were opposed to it. And they were talking about that's fine and dandy, but you also have that railroad track that goes through town, and buses and those type of vehicles stop at the railroad track. So that's going to stop traffic. So more to come on that. And then MTA had their Christmas party, and they had the road commission, Rob Falls and Andrew Palmer. They talked about how they reconstruct the dirt roads, and it was very interesting, besides our Christmas dinner and party. And that's it.
Thank you, Christine. I fielded a phone call from the village of Forestville the other day. They've requested that I attend their meeting in January to discuss medical services and ambulance services in the northern part of the county. That's all I have. Evans?
My township meeting is until Thursday.
Cool. John?
I don't have any report. I have one tomorrow night and one Thursday night.
Okay, very good. I appreciate everyone's commissioner reports. At this time, Nathan, your administrator report, please.
Yeah, and I can keep this very brief. To update you guys, they are over at the health department today working on reconstructing the atrium with the hope that hopefully by week's end, we'll get hopefully be completed with that project. It's been over the amount of time that we were hoping to have it done. I think what we've run into, I know Roger's experienced some of this with the park stuff too. When you get multiple contractors on a job, there was an issue with windows, some things during the hurricane that had come up. There's a variety of reasons that sometimes things don't go as planned, but we're hoping to get this all resolved, and then that building will be completely, I guess, rehabbed, and that it will have new windows, then new siding, and then the heating and cooling units have been replaced. So it's nice to see something that had been talked about for years, again, due to ARPA dollars, kind of was able to become a reality. So yeah, that'll be good for them over there.
Well said. I agree. Is that all? Okay. Any questions for Nick? Hearing none, we'll move on. At this time, I'm going to call for public comments pertaining to the agenda. Are there any public comments pertaining to the agenda today? Seeing none, we're going to move on. We do have some interviews today. The first one being for the Board of Public Works. I see Joel Wyatt is that person. I do not see his face in this room, so we are going to move on. The next one for interviews is Central Dispatch and Advisory Board, and that's Todd Hillman. Todd, could you step up to the podium and just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure.
You must be new.
I treat everybody equally, Todd.
We don't know how many more chances we're gonna get for this. Yeah.
Everybody knows me, I'm Todd Hillman, retiring from emergency management, and been on the 911 advisory board for quite a few years, and Dawn's got some projects that she needs to get finished up before she puts that X in the calendar to the public. And I really want to help her out with that, get the radio and that stuff going. Nate and I and her had a conversation. I think I need to try to help her out there. So
Sounds good.
that's all I've got.
Any questions for Todd? We appreciate you being here today.
Good to see you back on it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, next up is a candidate for the Drug Task Force Board, Bill Gray. Bill, welcome.
Oh. I was just here 2 months ago. Everybody kind of knows me. Finishing up the partial term. I'm requesting to be reappointed for the 2-year term. I think oversight continuity in a board that oversees operations like the Drug Task Force is important. And we are going to start the year with a new administrative director in the form of Lieutenant Moore from the Sheriff's Department. He'll be the first new director in the last 11 years with the retirement of Jim Johnson. We also have a new chair in Prosecutor Mark Davidson coming on board. I'd be a pleasure to continue serving the board at your behest. That's all I got.
Okay, any questions for Bill?
Just a comment, Bill's a tremendous asset to the DTF board. I've sat on that for many years.
Well, you guys haven't ran him off in the last couple of months. He wants to stay, so he must be doing something right.
He doesn't take a lot of crap.
I keep falling asleep, so I don't hear a lot of it.
Thank you for being.
Good answer.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay, next up is Land Bank Authority Board, David MacArthur. See David here today. So we are going to move on. And Safe Partnership Millage Board is Ann Soul, and I don't see Ann here today either. So that's going to conclude our interviews. We are going to move directly into appointments to boards. The first one being Board of Public Works. I'll entertain a motion to appoint Joel Wyatt as a general public member for a 3-year term expiring 12/31 of 2027.
I'll make that motion.
Support. I have a motion from Commissioner Moody, support from Commissioner Ehart to appoint Joel Wyatt to the Board of Public Works. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to the Central Dispatch Advisory Board, I'll entertain a motion to appoint Todd Hillman to the Citizen at Large for a 2-year term expiring 12/31 of 26.
I'll make that motion. I'll second that motion.
Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Commissioner Lee, support from Commissioner Heberling to appoint Todd Hillman to the Central Dispatch Advisory Board for 2 years. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Todd, you are appointed. Drug Task Force Board, I will entertain a motion to appoint Bill Gray for a 2-year term expiring 12/31 of 26.
So moved.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Ballard, support from Commissioner Sarkella to appoint Bill Gray to the Drug Task Force Board. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Bill, you are appointed. Land Bank Authority Board, I will entertain a motion to appoint David MacArthur for a 3-year term expiring 12/31 of 27.
Make a motion.
I support it.
I have a motion from Commissioner Ehart, support from Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. David is appointed. On the Safe Partnership Millage Board, I'll entertain a motion to appoint Ann Soul for a 4-year term expiring 12/31 of 2028.
I'll make that motion.
Support. I have a motion from Commissioner Moody, support from Commissioner Sarkella. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. That's going to conclude appointments to boards today. I see no need for 13B or 14. So we're going to move directly into general resolutions. And today we're going to start out with a resolution honoring our own Brenda Sanford. Merry Christmas, Bill. Brenda. This is a resolution honoring Brenda Sanford for years of service. Whereas Brenda Sanford is retiring as prosecutor for Sanilac County with over 26 years of dedicated service. And whereas Brenda began her career with Sanilac County as an assistant prosecutor on March 16, 1998, she was promoted to the chief assistant prosecutor July of 1998 and elected to the office of prosecutor in January 1st, 2021. And whereas Brenda served on the Central Dispatch Advisory Board, chairperson of the Sand Lake Drug Task Force Board, Safe Partnership Millage Board, Pension Board, Concealed Pistol License Board, Child Death Review Board, Med Control Board, Reapportionment Board, and Child Abuse Prevention Council. And now therefore be it resolved that the Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners does hereby honor and recognize Brenda Sanford for her outstanding leadership, dedication, and contributions to Sand Lake County and its citizens, and offers its warmest wishes for health and happiness in her retirement. Be it further resolved that this resolution be presented to Brenda Sanford and spread upon the proceedings of the Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners this 17th day, December 2024. Congratulations, Brenda.
Thank you. It's been an honor. It's been an honor serving my home community and dealing with you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thanks, Brenda.
And I have to go to court, so. Yes, you gotta go. I don't think it's a problem.
Okay, I have offered a resolution honoring Brenda Sanford. Is there support?
I support.
I have support from Commissioner Ehart. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Leslie, a roll call vote, please.
Chairman Black,
Yes.
Commissioner Ehart,
Yes.
Commissioner Moody,
Yes. Yes.
Commissioner Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Heberly.
Yes.
Commissioner Sarcella.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Thank you, Leslie.
Well,
Okay, up next, we have a resolution honoring Todd Hillman for years of service.
They with you? They with you? She's yours.
We'll come over here, Todd. This resolution honoring Todd Hillman for years of service in many areas, in particular, whereas Todd Hillman is retiring from Sand Lake County for over 21 years of service, and Todd began his career at the Sand Lake County December 8, 2003 as Emergency Managing Director. And whereas throughout his career as a public servant, Todd has guided the response to many emergency events throughout the years. And whereas Todd has navigated the county through weather events, the overturn of manure tanks, that had to be fun, to clean hose and the worldwide pandemic. Whereas Todd Hillman's years of service have contributed to safety and stability of the county and Sand Lake. And therefore be resolved, the Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners by this resolution recognizes the comments Todd Hillman for his longstanding commitment to Sand Lake County and citizens. Be it therefore resolved that this resolution be presented to Todd Hillman and spread upon the proceedings of Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners this 17th day of December 24. Thank you, Todd, for your participation. Yeah, there we go.
Sorry. Thank you for service, Tom. Yeah. Thanks, Tom. You're included. Thanks.
Get something to say? Absolutely. We have a member of the Michigan State Police here. Had something you'd like to say on Todd's behalf?
Well, thank you, Council. My name is Chuck Barker. I'm the State Emergency Management Coordinator for Region 3. That encompasses 14 communities and counties of mid-Michigan. And we'll put it in perspective. When Todd started his public service 40 years ago, I was 5. When Todd started emergency management with the state, I had 2 years in as a trooper. And he mentioned the other day that his first emergency management district coordinator was a guy by the name of Harry Partridge. I had 6 years in the department. I get a call from the captain. Hey, you guys that are working the road, I need you to come in here to district. Harry Partridge he's retiring. No one's going to come. Nobody knows him, but you're going to be here. Well, Cap, we're trying to get drugs and everything off the road. Get here now. Okay. So we go down. I meet Harry Partridge, the emergency management coordinator. I've never heard of emergency management in my career at all. And that was Todd's first emergency manager from the state. And then he had Lisa Speary. And then he had BJ Roach, who promoted me to detective sergeant back in 2012. And then he had Rich Martin, who unfortunately passed during cancer. And then he dealt with two other guys that were filling in for Rich in his absence. And then I met Todd in 2020 because I thought, in the face of a worldwide pandemic, hey, let's go to emergency management. So I took the job, and then the second day, the Midland dams fell, and we were in the face of a 5-county presidential declaration. And on top of that, we're dealing with supplies and everything. And I met Todd right down here at the office with a truckload of supplies and everything for the COVID testing sites that were up here and all this stuff is. And he's like, well, we're just gonna get it done and go through. And he's always been a steady person. If I call him, he's gonna answer. Self-sufficient in Sanilac County. I knew things over in this part of the woods were being handled because Todd knows everybody. The troubling thing is that today, if he announces his retirement, yet you hire him for another job, that's kind of a conflicting role model to emulate in retirement, getting a new job. But I just want to say, on behalf of myself and the emergency management from the state, thank you for your service to the state of Michigan and the citizens of Sanilac County. And, don't be a stranger. And I do have a challenge coin from Emergency Management and Homeland Security for Todd to display on whatever desk he may have in the future. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
That's just coming out of your pocket.
Okay, I have a resolution honoring Todd Hillman for years of service. Do I have support? I have support from Commissioner Ballard. Is there any discussion?
I'd just like to say I had a lot of opportunity to work with Todd, both in my time here in this building and on parks. We've been through some storms, literal storms together with our parks. Whether it was a straight line wind or wind shear, still it was a tornado. But always very professional. Even we too can be professional when we need to. So I want to thank you for your years. Thank you, Reg.
Okay, very good.
Chairman Block, I would just like to add two things if I could. One, I think people don't understand the commitment that it takes to be emergency manager. And I think Todd recognized that and noted that when we were looking for our next emergency manager, is this is a 24/7, 365 job. And I think, I just want to thank him as I have previously, but whenever we've needed anything, Todd has picked up the phone. Doesn't matter if I'm calling him at 5:30 in the morning, talking about weather, or dispatch is getting a hold of him at 2 a.m. because there's something overturned somewhere. Todd responded to those emergencies. And, I think we've been fortunate to have him in that role. And when people wonder what emergency management does, what I always go to is not the stuff that happens. It's not a job that 4:30 in the afternoon you leave and your day's done. You're kind of tied to that phone. It's a commitment. And as you can see, he's done that for in excess of 20 years. And I hope that with that time served, now you can enjoy retirement. That's that point.
Very good. Thank you. Appreciate everyone.
And don't forget, he also filled the shoes of fire chief all these years too.
Yeah.
Busy guy.
You wore many hats, didn't you, Todd?
I still got a lot on.
And soon to be city councilman.
It's out there. A lot of people have a hard time using it, but it's called no. And
How do you do with that?
I struggle just like everybody else. That's why I'm here, right?
Busy guy gets busier.
Yeah. So, thanks again for your service, Todd.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, we have a resolution that's been supported. There's been discussion. Leslie, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Heberling,
Yes.
Commissioner Ballard,
Yes.
Commissioner Moody,
Yes.
Chairman Block,
Yes.
Commissioner Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Ehart,
Yes.
Commissioner Sarcillo.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Okay, moving on. Our next one is a resolution honoring John Kinnear for years of service.
Well, I didn't hear anything about the fire department, so I guess we still got a fire department chief, right?
Yes, you do.
John, before I read the resolution here from our Senate Commissioners, I want to personally thank you and Kathy. You've been instrumental in our county for years. Kathy, John's wife, and you've done a lot in our community over the years. And we probably could have wrote a book on you, but you have to keep it short. But we appreciate what you've done, not only in the farming industry, but also in different things throughout the community. So with that said, I'd like to read the resolution honoring John Kinnear for his years of service. Whereas John Kinnear has given 49 years of his dedicated service to Custer Township, 19 of those years as the township supervisor. And whereas John has served on the Sanilac County Planning Commission for several years and currently is serving as a board member, John was involved in the development of the new county master plan, which we just completed in 2023, and the commissioners approved that. And whereas John served in the Sandusky School Board for 16 years, as well as serving on the Michigan Corn Growers Association, on the Exchange State Bank Board for 46 years, and was the board chairman for 37 years. And whereas John and his wife Kathy started their dairy crop farming operation in 1961, they are both lifelong members of the Peace Lutheran Church, where John served as a deacon. In addition, John and Kathy are lifelong members, still lifelong members, as far as I know, Farm Bureau, and have served as chairman, and both of them served as chairman, along with serving on the policy committee. Now, therefore, be resolved, the Sanilac County Board of Commissioners, by this resolution, recognizes and commends John Kinnear for his longstanding commitment to Custer Township and to our community. Be it therefore resolved that this resolution be presented to John Kinnear and spread upon the proceedings of Sanilac County Board of Commissioners on this, the 7th day of December, 2024. When we get done, we get Kathy, do you want to get in a picture, another picture?
That's what people want me to. Yeah.
Let's get this one first.
Oh, that's fine.
We'll get this one.
Okay.
You gotta grab that too, John. We gotta hang on.
Hey,
We'll
John,
get
look
another
at me.
picture with 5 of us. I'm wore out.
Okay. Beep, 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 beep.
That was good. How did you do that?
All right, ready? Okay.
Thanks, Gary. I really should straighten out some of them numbers. Kathy was
That's all right.
supervising the first 30 years in Custer Township of this 4950 that he's talking about. And then the President of the United States appointed her as chairman of the Michigan Ag Department down in Lansing. So she was down there 3 years. She was supposed to take the supervisor job back over and didn't do it. So that's how I got the last 19 years. So it's been a lot of fun. I try to do everything with a smile. And when you do it with a smile, they return. And so it's been quite a battle to look in the mirror and say you're all done.
I have a resolution offered from Commissioner Heatheling. Is there support? Support from Commissioner Sarcella. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Leslie, a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Heatheling,
Yes.
Commissioner Sarcella,
Yes.
Commissioner Moody, Commissioner Lee,
Yes.
Chairman Block,
Yes.
Commissioner Ballard,
Yes.
Commissioner Ehart.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Thank you again for all your service, John.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up is a resolution for Sanilac County Lexington Park Accessibility Plan. Commissioner Sarcella, would you be willing to read that for us on page 5?
Whereas Sanilac County Lexington Park is a 27-acre parcel of property located in Lexington Township along M25 adjacent to Lake Huron. is owned in perpetuity through a fee simple title and has been open for years for the general public for both camping and day use recreation patrons. And whereas the Sand Lake County Park Commission desires to improve accessibility for all at Lexington Park through a Michigan Department of Natural Resources Trust Fund grant application called the Lexington Park Accessibility Plan, which will replace an over 70-year-old non-accessible pedestrian bridge, which has been professionally inspected and deemed to be within 2 to 4 years of being due for replacement. Said plans also call for the conversion of an antiquated tennis court and 3 new pickleball courts, a dog park area, addition of a 1,100-foot walking trail connected to the bridge, Lake Huron observation deck, and the south side of the park, allowing access to the 2 planned camping cabins, the existing camping area, bathhouse, and observation deck. Whereas the Lexington Park Accessibility Plan is sustainable through the Sand Lake County Park Commission general funds and or the Sand Lake County Park Millage funds. Therefore, be resolved that Sand Lake County Park Commission pledges to commit to the protection of the entire site for natural and wildlife values and pledges to maintain the existing protected property for its wildlife ecological values while maintaining appropriate public access and recreation opportunities.
Support. I have a resolution offered by Commissioner Sarkellis, support from Commissioner Ballard. Is there any discussion?
Just a little information on this. We put this plan together probably a year and a half ago. We are going to apply for a grant. Now they are $400,000 grants. Previously, they were $300,000. The projected total cost of this project is about $890,000. And there would be about 10% or close to 90,000 in engineering fees. And it will be covered by hopefully the grant. There's no guarantees that we get it. But our plan is if we don't get it, is to proceed with the bridge and the camping cabins, which will add significant revenue to that park. We only have 45 sites there, but they did manage this year to hit, I believe they were just a little over 150,000 in revenues, which is pretty unheard of for that size of a campground. So the 2 cabins will be down kind of back from the bluff a little bit on the day use side with a pretty nice view of the lake. So they should create some really good revenue. So
that bridge is pretty important to the access to that side because otherwise people have to drive all the way around.
Well, and our plan is to make that wider. It'll be, I believe the plan is 10 feet wide so they can take their equipment back and forth, the tractor, the mowers. Because right as it is right now, they have to go out on 25.
Right.
And it is not wheelchair accessible. So the pathways that we will also proceed with that portion of it from the parking lot across the bridge and to the cabins, and it'll connect with the south side. So it'll be a nice addition.
Very good. Well, I wish you the best of luck getting that grant.
Thank you. Wish me the best of luck getting a good contractor.
That too.
Yes. Okay, we have a resolution with support and discussion. Leslie, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sarcella,
Yes.
Commissioner Ballard,
Yes.
Commissioner Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Ehart,
Yes.
Chairman Black,
Yes.
Commissioner Heberling.
Yes.
And Commissioner Moody.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Thank you, Leslie. Okay, that's going to conclude resolutions for today. So we're going to move into committee reports and we're going to start with Commissioner Moody.
No report.
Okay.
I have HTC tomorrow. That's it.
Okay. We had a personnel meeting this morning, and as you guys could see for the add-on from for F&A, there is somebody for the emergency management director position. We will deal with that in that meeting. And there is also a planning commission meeting tonight. That's all I have. Christine?
I had a council on aging on Monday and we had our Christmas party, and because they do not meet in January and February, they approved the funds for HDC. And then I had child abuse prevention council this morning, and Stephanie McMillan was reclassified to executive director intake coordinator. And then the health board, the number of cases of whooping cough has tripled. They're working on a fetch program that is, you can go online and you can bring up septic lines, inspections, food, campgrounds and whatever. They're still working out the bugs. When they get that and they're still uploading the information, they're going to come and do a presentation to this board. And the community foundation will be moving in the front office space at Maple Valley, and the polar bear run, that's January 12th. And the work crew picked up 153 deers the last couple of weeks off the side of the road. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you, Christine. Bill?
Last Friday, a little over a month ago, I was asked to serve as an MC for the Great Start Collaborative Children's Champion Program. So that was at the ISD last Friday morning, and there was over almost 40 plus individuals and organizations that were recognized for being children's champion. So it was a very nice program. I had never been to that before. It was great to see, particularly because Dwayne Lang was recognized as a children's champion because he's going to be retiring from the ISD, and he received some well-received recognition, and that's all I have.
Good. Thank you, Bill. Gary?
Well, John, as you already mentioned, we had a personnel meeting this morning, Nathan, Jody, and I. We had two items on the agenda, and one of the emergency managers, the other concerns drain office. And tonight we have a planning committee. Yep. But that's kind of redundant, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Gary. Roger?
Yesterday I had a community mental health, public education and prevention committee meeting. Just heard the standard reports and had some really excellent homemade Christmas cookies. Parks, no meeting, but we are proceeding on the house project in Lexington. I got pictures today. They took a wall out and the stairway, and we're closing that in. I would imagine they'll be done with drywalling, finishing this week, and hopefully they can get that wrapped up here by Christmas. Evergreen Park, I would imagine they're still pouring concrete today. They've been pouring when they can. I'm hoping they have all of that done before it freezes up again. They had the approaches to the kayak launch, which has been put in. They were done this past week around the playground equipment at the lower end of the park. And they were moving up and doing sidewalks and pavilion footings, I believe, this week. So it is coming along finally. Still got a putt-putt golf course put in and the pavilions, a lot of finish work, great work. So.
And I might add, I was out there last week and looked at the kayak launch and how they're doing, and the playground. That playground there is going to be beautiful. It looks good now. So great additions to our parks.
Should be a tremendous draw for that park, which has been busier than busy anyways. So our two main parks are over 500,000 in revenues each this year, which is awesome.
Yep.
Combine that with our millage funds, and we're working on more stuff.
Between what your revenues, millage funds, and grants, you guys are doing an enormous amount of work in county parks.
Thank you. We hear that from engineering firms. They're amazed by us.
Yeah.
Here, there's no other counties that do the amount of work we do.
Yeah.
We actually, our manager at Forrester has drawn up a preliminary plan. We've been battling back and forth on that. Our last plan for a campground came in at 6.3 million. He came up with a plan to put, I believe it's 10 camping cabins in there and a manager's residence, and not really a lot of amenities. It's rustic camping. There will be water on site and a septic. Actually, the cabins will have bathroom facilities in them. And we figured we could do that for, I think it was around $500,000, which with revenues we have coming in, even if we don't get a grant, is very doable, probably in the next 5 years. So that's kind of exciting.
Okay. Very good.
That's all I have.
Good. Thank you, Roger. Appreciate everyone's committee reports. I see no unfinished business, so we're going to move directly into new business. And today that's going to start out with FA 206-24, approval of 2024 current claims.
Santa Ana County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the payment of current claims for 2024 identified on the accounts payable report dated December 10th, 2024 for the general bank account in the amount of $119,953.46.
Support.
I have a motion from Finance Chairman Sarkella, support from Commissioner Heberlin. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 207-24, budget adoptions, amendments, appropriations, and transfers.
Santa Ana County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the following amendments and establishes the following accounts as listed. Support.
I have a motion from Finance Chairman Sarkella, support from Commissioner Ehart. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 208-24, approval of additional general fund bank account checks charged in November 2024.
Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the payment of additional general fund bank account checks charged in November 2024 as follows. $855,398.99 in ACH payments, $430,351.49 in checks for a total of $1,285,750.48.
Support. I have a motion from Finance Chairman Sarkella, support from Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Now we're going to move over to our green sheet for NFA 022-24. And this is the appointment for Emergency Manager Director and the approving of the following job description.
Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners hereby appoints Greg Holman as Emergency Management Director at a pay grade 10, step 4, effective January 1st, 2025, and further approves the following job description.
Support. I have a motion from from Finance Chairman Sarkellis, support from Vice Chairman Ballard. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Mr. Holman is appointed as our new Emergency Management Director. That is going to conclude new business. So at this time, I'm going to call for public comments. Are there any general public comments today?
John, if I may, we've all sat here as commissioners today and looked at the number of people that we've honored and the years of service. And I've always heard the busiest people do the most. And I don't know if that's a true statement or not, but I think if I can speak on behalf of our commissioners, we appreciate all of you people that are sitting here today, and I know Brenda's left. There was well over 250 years of service there we looked at today. And we appreciate that. And all of you that are still serving and giving your time and giving up time with your family and different things. That's what makes a good community and a good county. So thank you very much.
Very well said, Commissioner Hebling. Is there any public comment today?
I just have one.
Okay.
The flask is a prop. There's nothing in it.
Anymore.
Shut up.
It was full before the meeting.
So I passed it around.
You got it.
Okay, very good.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. I see no need for closed session. So before we adjourn, I'd just like to say quickly, as we wind down, it's our last meeting of the year. We are going to adjourn this at sign die, so we will not have any more meetings this year. I want to thank everybody. This board has worked tremendously well together. We are very fortunate to have each other to work well and bring these services to bear for county residents. I want to thank the judicial branch of government within the county. Our judges have been good partners. All the other elected officials that we have in this county, from the drain office to the clerks to the treasurer, everybody works well together to make things happen. And I'm very appreciative of that. And I'm very much so looking forward to working with everybody next year to do the exact same thing. So with that said, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn our last BOC meeting of the year at 1:43.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Lee, support from Commissioner Hebling. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.